Welcome to Legal Matters with the Crosby Law Firm and WIFR. I'm 23 News anchor Mike Garrigan, and my guest this evening is attorney Michael Crosby with the Crosby Law Firm. Legal Matters is an informational and news call-in show devoted to legal topics of interest to State Line viewers. We have attorneys standing by right now live to take your call at the number on your screen. It's 815-397-2006. We'll provide you with free information on your issue, so call now and throughout the next hour. Time for tonight's opening statement. In our first segment of tonight's broadcast, we will offer a guide to getting divorced. And in our second segment, we will continue our popular You Want to Know segment, which is devoted to rapid fire questions and answers posed by you, the viewer, by way of telephone calls, emails, texts, and tweets that we have received. Before we get started tonight, I would also like to remind our viewers of the practice areas that the Crosby Law Firm concentrates in. The Crosby Law Firm has a Center for Divorce and Family Law, an Auto Accident and Injury Department, a Bankruptcy Institute, an Office for DUI, Traffic, and Criminal Defense, an Advanced Care Plan and Probate Center, a Division for Real Estate and Business Matters, and an Immigration and Naturalization Division. So please feel free to call tonight and discuss any of these practice areas with the attorney standing by. And now let's move on to tonight's first topic, a guide to getting divorced in Illinois. And I know, Michael, many of our viewers have either been experiencing a divorce or have had friends who experience. I believe the divorce rate is right around 50% now of all marriages. They end in divorce now. So when a client visits you concerning this very difficult situation, how do you treat it?
Good question, Mike. Most folks that visit with us concerning a divorce are quite obviously traumatized in a very serious way. Their family, their relationship is hemorrhaging. So the first thing that we try to do in empathizing and relating with the client, kind of get our arms around their fact pattern, their situation. One of the first questions that I'll ask is if there's any hope of reconciling the marriage, reconciling their differences, and restoring the marriage with perhaps the intervention of a marriage counselor, a minister, a priest, or a rabbi. If that's not the case, then we'll move forward and discuss all the components of a divorce. If there's anything we can do to help a husband or a wife reinstate the marriage, restore things, we of course want to try to do that. So where we start first is relating to the client, trying to empathize with what they've gone through, kind of get our arms around the relationship, provide them with some grace during a very difficult time.
And they're each different specific issues, so you need that background information. Now, once you get that background information, then what other legal issues or topics do you need to be addressed?
Sure. Once I kind of am able to relate to their particular set of circumstances, the first area that we cover, and if you think about it in a chronological way, the first issue that most folks want to discuss with me is how do we get started? If we're both occupying the house, who lives in the house? Who moves out? How do I inform my spouse that the divorce has already started? Do I talk with them? Do you talk with them, Mr. Lawyer? We call this the interim issues. There's a starting point and there's a finishing point. And in that interim, while the case is pending, we try to navigate through that very difficult time and create a plan to problem solve low-key, diplomatically, if at all possible. So the first thing is, how do we start it? And what's the strategy? What's the plan until we get to the finish line?
Okay, so once you and the client map out the strategy, what is usually the next issue that you have to deal with?
The next issues revolve around children, if there are children. And regarding the children issues, we're going to touch base on custody issues, visitation of the parent that does not have custody. We'll also talk about child support payments. If there are no children, then we've put that issue aside and we move on to the other issues.
Okay, so once you've covered the children or the case with no children, then what's the next step?
After we've reviewed the children issue, if there are children, we then move on to property settlement. We want to do an analysis, an inventory, if you will, of the assets and the debts that the husband and wife have acquired during their marriage, and then sort through what's a fair and equitable division of the property issues, the house, a 401k, savings account, checking account, second homes if they apply, so forth and so on. In addition to the property settlement issue, we'll also address whether either party qualifies for alimony or maintenance. In our community and in our state, what drives alimony or maintenance are going to be how long the marriage has been around and the income disparity between the two spouses. If it's a relatively short marriage, and if there's not income disparity between the two, probably not a maintenance issue. If the marriage is long-term, 10 years, 15, 20, might be a maintenance issue. In addition to that, we'll also talk about the legal fees and the expenses related to a divorce. In our office, as most of your viewers well know, we charge a flat fee. Most attorneys that do a lot of divorce work and family law work charge by the hour.
Right.
By the hour, most clients, 5-minute phone call, they get a bill. 2-paragraph letter, they get a bill. In our office, we'll structure a flat fee so that they can properly budget for it, know where they stand from the inception. That's rather unique in our community, and I think it's a good service that we provide to our clients.
Really is an asset for sure. We're going to take a short break, but our attorneys are manning the phones, so keep those calls coming. Again, they're live, 815-397-2006. Also, they're free. And when we come back, it's the return of the popular You Want to Know segment, where we answer questions we've received from viewers.
At the Crosby Law Firm, solving your legal problems and making your financial life easier is what we're all about. Unlike many law firms, we have options to help you reach your goals. Representing clients in many areas of law, we offer free initial consultations, flat fees instead of hourly rates, so you'll know where you stand. And if you need extra time to pay, we offer payment plans to meet every client's budget. Call the Crosby Law Firm today at 815-397-2006 for your free consultation. It's a new day in the Rock River Valley. Construction projects are underway. The housing market is recovering, and confidence is returning. As we celebrate this perseverance, the state line is prouder, stronger, and better. And so too are the individuals who have relied upon the leadership of the Crosby Law Firm to protect their rights. In honor of the American spirit, the Crosby Law Firm proudly salutes we the people of the State Line community.
Welcome back. In response to the enormous support and thousands of telephone calls from you, the viewer, in response to the Legal Matters show, we are continuing our rapid-fire question and answer segment called You Want to Know. In an effort to protect viewer confidentiality, please understand that we are only using first names, and we changed the location of the viewer and the nature of the question somewhat. So here we go. Michael, our first question, it comes from Vince in Winnebago, and it reads as follows. I'm a middle-aged man about to visit with an attorney for the first time in my life on an issue very important to my family and I. What can I expect?
Good question from Vince out there in our viewing audience. Most folks visit with a doctor 1 or 2 times every year. Most folks visit with a lawyer maybe 1 to 2 to 3 times in their entire life. So I understand, and our law firm understands, that when somebody visits with us on a particular issue, it's not the same kind of routine that it is when they visit with a physician. So we empathize, and we try to minimize the stress when they visit with us, and that's why we offer a free initial consultation. We understand the expense emotionally to the client. We understand the expense financially, and so that first consultation, free of charge, it's our way of enabling the client, the prospective client, to understand the legal process, what's involved. In our office, we have a couple of mottos: local roots, lasting strength, protecting you. Our objective in representing our clients is to protect their interests and to try to relate to what they're going through. The local roots and lasting strength speaks to the culture of our office. We've been doing this in Rockford for 34 years. We have combined experience with 8 attorneys over 150 years. So we like to think that we go the extra mile and that we're able to provide the client with good, honest, crystal clear advice on the issue pertaining to them. And so they can expect that free consultation. They can expect us to dig deep into their issue and try to relate to what they're going through.
Try to make it more comforting, for sure.
Absolutely.
Our next question comes from Mark over in Boone County, and I think Mark's not alone. We get a lot of calls like this in the newsroom. This past winter resulted in a lot of icy roads and severe accidents. What should a person do if they are injured in an auto accident?
First, very good question again. We all know this has been a severe winter that we've just come through. Tons of auto accidents. Our office does a large amount of personal injury work pertaining to auto accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents. First thing I want the clients to know and the viewers out there to know, most of our work is flat fee. But when it comes to auto accidents, we don't get paid unless you get paid. It's a contingency fee. Our fees are conditioned on performance. If we're able to secure a settlement for our clients, then we get paid. If there is no settlement for the clients, we don't get paid. Very important to understand. We provide a free consultation regarding auto accidents, truck accidents, and motorcycle accidents. So I would encourage Mark from Boone County to give us a call and visit with us. We'll walk him through the entire process on what's involved with injuries. We do a lot of this work over 34 years. Millions of dollars of settlement. It's a significant part of our practice. We encourage you to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you.
And you can call now. Again, attorneys are standing live. The number is at the bottom of your screen. Our next question comes from Dave in Rockford. He asks, if someone has had a few beers and gets stopped by a cop for failure to have a lighted license plate, can the policeman arrest that person for drunk driving? And how should the person respond if they do get arrested?
Very good question from Dave. First, when he talks about the illuminated license plate, what he's really driving at in legal terms is what we call probable cause. Did the officer have probable cause to pull the car over? If the license plate's not illuminated, the police officer can pull him over. If the policeman pulls him over and detects an odor of alcohol, there may be a DUI arrest. The police officer is going to investigate with a field sobriety test. And if he thinks that the person driving the car has failed the field sobriety test, then they may very well get arrested for a DUI. Be polite, never be belligerent with the police officers. Refuse to engage them in any kind of a confession. If you're about to be arrested for a DUI, immediately let the officer know that you want to contact our office. We'll be happy to provide you with a defense, legal representation. We do a lot of DUI and traffic and criminal defense work in our office.
Okay, this next one's a very good question. It comes from Stephanie in Leaf River. I think a lot of people have this feeling too. I'm getting old, but I don't have a lot of money. Do I really need a will?
The answer is absolutely yes. In our culture, having a will, a living will, powers of attorney, etc., are not driven by wealth or your lack of wealth. And so long as you're an adult, it's not driven by your age. Whether you're 18 or 90, whether you're worth $1 or $1 million, everyone in American culture needs a will, should have a will. We have a significant advanced care planning department. We prepare a lot of wills for a lot of clients, along with a living will and powers of attorney. Much too complicated of an issue to review with you now, but again, we have the free consultations. Be happy to talk to Stephanie about the need for a will and what her will should contain.
Okay, moving on to the next rapid fire question. It comes from John in Rockford. What happens if I just let the bank take my house back? Am I still liable for any money?
So many people in our community have been confronted with this issue, Mike, over the last 5 to 10 years, since the real estate recession, if you will. If you lose your home, and if the bank sells your home for less than you owe, the bank can pursue you for the difference. So if you owe $100,000 and your house sells for $75,000, the bank can chase you for the $25,000. This sounds like a question from John regarding foreclosure work and possibly bankruptcy work. We do an enormous amount of foreclosure defense work. We do an enormous amount of bankruptcy work. What John needs to know is that he's not going to lose his house right away. If he's concerned about shelter, there's steps that we can take to make sure that there's an orderly transition from the house to his next place of living.
Okay, just under a minute, so this will be our last question of the night. It comes from Tyler of Rockford. He asks, it's springtime and I'm thinking about buying a house. Can you educate me on the process?
Good question from Tyler. This is springtime. Most of our house purchases and sales in our community take place in the spring, summer, and fall.
Yeah.
Winter, we got some cabin fever. This will be the largest purchase that Tyler probably ever makes in his life. Low side in our community, $50,000. High side, it can be $500,000 or more. Tyler certainly needs to have a lawyer at his elbow regarding the purchase or the sale of a home. We do a lot of real estate transactions in our town, and I would encourage Tyler to give us a call. Any of his friends and relatives as well. Be happy to assist you in the purchase of your home and walk you through the mortgage process, so forth and so on.
We have a lot more questions. We've just run out of time. Mason has one about immigration. We'll make sure we get to that next time at our next Legal Matters show.
Looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
Very good. And again, if viewers have a question that wasn't answered tonight, the Crosby Law Firm attorneys are standing by right now to answer your legal questions free from callers. It's a live call, and call the number on your screen. And then coming up on Legal Matters, John Hansen from the American Law Firm will join us to give his insights on criminal defense law and immigration law.
At the Crosby Law Firm, solving your legal problems and making your financial life easier is what we're all about. Unlike many law firms, we have options to help you reach your goals. Representing clients in many areas of law, we offer free initial consultations, flat fees instead of hourly rates, so you'll know where you stand. And if you need extra time to pay, we offer payment plans to meet every client's budget. Call the Crosby Law Firm today at 815-397-2006 for your free consultation. It's a new day in the Rock River Valley. Construction projects are underway. The housing market is recovering, and confidence is returning. As we celebrate this perseverance, the state line is prouder, stronger, and better. And so too are the individuals who have relied upon the leadership of the Crosby Law Firm to protect their rights. In honor of the American spirit, the Crosby Law Firm proudly salutes we the people of the State Line community.